Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiserreich. It's been a little bit since I've recorded, and basically the last thing we did was reunify Italy. So we're in the waiting for the Weltkrieg part of this game. Though to be fair, what we're really gonna try to do is knock out Sardinia. You know, and being able to do that would be super cool. I'd really like to do that. We have them under pretty good blockade. I maybe want to start mining the Western Mediterranean as well. Because we have 100% mine presence in the region. So, that's good. I don't really know if the mines do anything. I assume they make things harder for the other guys, so that's good. But right now we're just basically waiting for a Marine Division to be trained. That'll be done by May. I could pop them early, but that seems dumb, so I'm not going to do that. The plan is to land here at northern Sardinia. That's annoying. Resistance to social change. To unite Italy, there's resistance against the various social changes we've implemented in the Republic since its founding. Particularly in the case of women's rights, the changes we've brought to Italian society will take time, but eventually the rest of Italy shall accept them. Damn, reactionaries. Yeah. We're going to try to land here, and then once we have a foothold... There we go. We have a bunch of militia. Look at us. We could disband them. I'm not sure I really want to. I think I actually would like to have some garrison troops. I think it would be nice to have those situated in, I guess, ports. Oh, nice, right, we got a bunch of new guys. Yeah, we want to plorp down guys everywhere. Okay. So if we just do that, we need 15 divisions. I might just do it. Right. Oh, we also transitioned over to bicycle battalions for everyone. Right, we need to choose a new focus. But we have a positive amount of manpower, so I'm not hugely, I don't feel a huge amount of urgency there. We probably just want more factories, right? We want Vallo Alpino by the time we get there. Corpo Speciale would be good because we were going to use special forces to attack our enemy. So, Corpo Speciale. The inconsistency of the battleground in Italy is that it's inconsistent. Massive mountain ranges, distant islands, packed cities, and formidable rivers divide the peninsula, and ignoring those differences would be highly foolish. Instead, we must have contingents ready to face every situation. Because that will increase the amount of special forces we can have and increase their strength. Which is useful if we're going to be landing like Marines. Which we are. Okay, it is 1939. Yeah, let's just get better engineers. We'll need those eventually. Yeah, I mean, it looks like, all things considered, it looks like we've distributed our forces pretty smartly. Our garrisons. It's not that foolish. I mean, we don't have anyone near Rome, which is, I guess, kind of dumb, but... King Edward abdicates the throne. In a move seen by many as inevitable, King Edward VIII today announced via radio address that he had abdicated the throne in favor of his younger brother, Prince Albert. Edward is giving up the throne to marry American film star Constance Bennett, who he met in Canada when she fled to Canada during the American Civil War. Twice divorced and currently still married, Bennett was seen as unsuitable for a king who is also the head of the Church of England, which does not pervert divorcees to remarry, and Edward was unwilling to give her up for any reason. Prince Albert, viewed by many as a quiet and socially awkward man, was said to be coronated as King Albert I, inheriting his rule over a British Empire that's vastly different from that of his grandfathers. One king is as worthless as any other. Alright, let's look at support equipment demand. That's achievable. We need to make more tactical bombers, I think is what we're learning. Yeah, the tactical bomber situation is not ideal. We need more air XP. More submarines. I'll just do that. Yeah, that's fine. I'd love to keep sinking all the Sardinian nonsense. But we do actually need to land forces. Insufficient energy? Okay, we'll have to get more coal from the Commune of Britain. Or Commune of France. It's Commune of France. Yeah. Yeah, it won't be until May that we get our guys. Yeah, they're not that big. Hopefully they can make the landing. What would happen if I said, yeah, I want these guys to be bulkier? Yeah, that would set us back to June. We may want to deploy early. I think that's still worth it. Okay, we have free civilian factories. It would be smart for us to build up land forts on our border with the Austrians. Just level 2s. We can eventually take that focus that gives us more. But for now, I think that that's good. First, though, I would love to build more just like military factories. For now. I think that's probably a good short-term thing. Because these places have 100% infrastructure. Muscat and Oman have capitulated. Wait, what? It's called Muscat and Oman. Is that new? Okay. I didn't know that that was a thing. I thought it was just Muscat or Oman. Yeah, we're struggling on our garrison situation. Our finest hour. British politician and former Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill has published a new book as part of an emerging genre known as alternate history and concerning the Great War. The story takes place from the perspective of a young British soldier returning from a victorious Gallipoli campaign amidst a world radically different from our own. In this timeline, Theodore Roosevelt and his Bull Moose Party win the 1912 American presidential election, leading to an American entry into the Weltkrieg and an Entente victory. A defeated and partially occupied Germany is gripped by a constant economic and political crises, witnesses the defeat of the whites in the Russian Civil War, and is cooed by a bitter and extremely nationalist Adam Dressler. He leads the German Workers' Party, who follows an ideology of people's socialism, an extreme version of national populism. The novel ends with the beginning of a three-sided war between Dressler's New Reich, the Western Entente, led by a dominant British Empire, and a Soviet Russia, led by Sergei Kirov. The book has divided critics, some praising its attention to detail, and others criticize it for large flaws in historical logic. Churchill's commented that something like this could happen in another universe. What childish fantasy! Uh-oh. Things are really not good for the syndicalists in, Yeah, things are not good for the syndicalists in the New World, even though they're pretty good for us in the Old World. Formation of the Central American Confederation. Central America has long been divided, with the various nations coming under heavy American influence ever since the Federal Republic of Central America dissolved nearly a century ago. With the advent of the Second American Civil War, however, the region was swept by conflict and turmoil, different ideologies struggling to assert themselves in the storm. Now that the dust has settled, it seems the land has been united under the liberal and democratic Confederation of Central America. Much is still uncertain about the country's future. The nature of the constitution, the location of the capital, and the political parties which will run the nation are all undecided. But what can be determined is that this marks a new dawn for the region. This won't end well. Okay. Oh, that's it for the Ottomans. We got a Kurdistan. Look at that. We have the Socialist Republic of Iran. We got big Armenia. Nice. Let's see. We should definitely focus on more support equipment. I can press buttons. I probably want to improve worker conditions. Actually, I probably want to grab a Chief of Air Force. I'll grab a air safety expert to give us more air XP, which we'll need. Resistance to occupation. Curse you. Uruguay will join the Montevideo Treaty. This is why I'm not super worried about what's going on there. The fuel situation I will improve on. There we go. We're about stabilized. Corpo Speciale. Oh, Mountaineers are better. We'll get these eventually. Brigate Marine. Yeah. Brigate Marine. An advantage of fighting an offensive war on the peninsula is that if the front quiets, one is not out of options. Corpo Speciale units can land behind the enemy to surround and disrupt them, and to attack the difficult targets of Sardinia and Sicily. Sicily turned out not to be that difficult. Sardinia, yeah. This will give us more Marines, which will help when we launch this invasion. We got Maintenance Company, which means we have the easy maintenance bonus. Better guns is better, more gooder. Better artillery. Better artillery is good.
Ordini.
Okay. Yunnan Click was annexed. No surprises there. It appears the Beijing government... Beijing government seems to have... no, the Chongqing government is distinct, and the Fengtian government are distinct. But the Beijing government is basically in control of most of China at this point, though. We'll see how real that control actually is. Exhibition. Wow, that's a lot of cash. Exhibition of the Revolution. In 1919, the Socialist Republic of Italy was proclaimed. However, the resulting civil war would lead Italy divided. Since then, we've erased these false borders, reunified Italy, and brought the revolution to all corners of our country. To demonstrate our glorious victory to the people, a grand exhibition of the revolution and our struggles and losses has been unveiled in Roma. Celebrating the struggle to bring syndicalism to all corners of Italy, no doubt help educate the masses about the revolution, inform them of the glory of reunited Italy. Long live the Republic. I don't remember. Alright, yeah, we've locked ourselves into the path that we're on. We go partial mobilization. That increases our... Yeah, that's probably good. Partial mobilization is important.
Pronto.
Pronto. We could grab a metal. Reduced supply consumption is always good. Alright, that's it for the Workers' Congress of America. The collapse of the Workers' Congress of America. Appears the Workers' Congress of America is on its last legs in the American Civil War. Already most of its land has been swallowed up by the other American factions, and what is left is but the last remnants of its army, now demoralized and suffering from mass desertions, but holding out against all hope that a miracle might save them. Some socialist leaders have already met with the enemy's factions generals to negotiate the terms of their inevitable complete surrender. Interesting. And they have capitulated and been annexed. Let's see how this resolves itself. The Canadians now control a lot of the Midwest, you know. But they return it to the United States Military Administration, which just appears to be the government they're recognizing. That's interesting. I thought it would be the Constitutional Coalition, but whatever. I don't know how much this is going to matter. Better guns. I'll do conversions. Better productivity. Better Marines. I do like good Marines. Deploying in June. Baragate Marine. Hey, the Norwegians are giving us support equipment. Thanks, Norway. Southern Rhodesia's capitulated. RIP, Southern Rhodesia. Advanced machine tools. Dispersed industry, go. We have... No, we don't quite. I want to make good light tank divisions. Right now, our light tanks leave something to be desired. Alright, there's our Brigate Marine. I'm going to deploy these Marines. We'll do that. We'll do this. We'll actually make it pink. Who's got the best? Alright, Annibale. Bergonzoli. We're going to launch an attack from Rome. Here. And that's going to last 50-day planning. Alright. 50 days. Let's see. Makes our support companies better. More air-based stuff, air stuff, more aces. Let's go expend Ilva. The former Tenri Elba Group, now an amalgamation of many strategic metallurgical industries, is the key to boosting our industrial capacity past the rival governments. We shall expand its mines, modernize its industries, rationalize its management. And that gives us, this gives us 50 days. It gives us time to plan. I will also make the Marines elite. I'll make the defensive guys not elite. Women entering politics. While women have been legally allowed to vote, work in politics, and sit in parliament since the founding of our republic, it's only now that we have unitedly that women throughout the country enjoy these rights. Many women, especially those from the South and Northeast, where the reactionaries ruled, now taking steps to enter politics for the first time in their lives, from local unions, provincial juntas, to the parliament itself. Great! Love good stability. Attento. Spartacus is released. Cinecittà has released the epic movie Spartacus, telling the story of the ancient Roman slave rebellion leader Spartacus. The movie is by all accounts an epic with a cast of thousands, starring Gino Cervi as Spartacus and directed by Carmine Gallone. The movie has already proven a success with both critics and the public at large. I am Spartacus. Pronto all'azione. Natal has joined the Entente. What is the situation looking like down here? So Natal's just chilling. It's just like a breakaway. I mean, it's 2 million people. It's not nothing. Mountain infantry. let's see. What do we need? High efficiency turbines. More energy gain per coal. Don't mind if I do. Monarchy restored in Greece. The Greek government today announced it would be restoring the monarchy, forgoing the referendum that originally restored the kingdom in 1920, prior to its overthrow in 1923. Rather than restore the crown to Alexandros I, however, it instead passed the crown to his younger brother, Pavlos I. The new king, it is said, has much more radical and authoritarian ideas learned during his exile, which are more in line with the new Greek government. Though the rest of the royal family will be returning to Greece along with him. The king spoke to a massive cheering crowd in Athens after returning for the first time in many years, saying that Greece had finally returned to the path it was meant to be on, and vowed to work tirelessly to restore the country. Interesting. Oh, right, yeah, the Albanians are randomly in the Moscow Accord. Sure, man, whatever. Who am I to complain about Albanians being in the Moscow Accord? How much time? 21 days? Yeah, alright. I'm only on 4 speed because I don't want to get ambushed by nonsense. I like having time to think. Or submarines. Alright, patrol. Maybe I'll be able to actually defeat the fleet. There we go. We lost a few bombers, but we sank their whole, destroyer fleet. Though we are chewing through our oil something fierce. So, we're actually going to wait until the invasion is fully ready to launch. Nice thing about that is it should... Okay, we have buttons. Naval speed, naval aviation. I feel like we'll go with Alberto de Zara. More naval speed. Engineering company, better. More gooder. Let's get excavation 3. Why not? That lets me press a button. That gives me more coal. Friuli is now a core of the Socialist Republic of Italy. Alright. We still got a few more days. I'm actually going to call it here. In terms, not the video. I would like to either fail or succeed at this invasion. Okay, the Buenos Aires-Lima axis. Oh boy! This is an exciting little war that's happening in South America. That's neat. We want more airplanes. Specifically more fighters. Alright, I would like more civilian factories. I think that would be awesome. So, let's modernize the Po farmlands while Piedmont reaches modernity. Parts of the lower Padon Valley have yet to leave the Middle Ages. Politically, we already know what you can do, but economically, we can still intervene to improve their situation. We got better guns. Better artillery. We're not importing more of anything than we need. Better anti-air is probably good. Alright. We are for a few days out from launch. 5 days out. Which means, yeah, we're going to start our patrol. So we build up the necessary naval dominance. Very silly. No, we don't want their help. The Phalanstery offers assistance. As part of the Phalanstery International Program, our comrades in Paris and London have just offered us much needed help. Industrial machines, mining equipment, weapons, ammunition, and more. All of this will be unloaded at our ports and airports and transported across the country, assuming we desire that. Yeah, excellent. We desire it. Stupid. No, I don't want to do that. That seems bad. Alright. I mean division still preparing. We're prepared. Alright. Nothing to it but to do it. Uh-oh. We're currently losing. Yeah. Oh boy. The Second Sino-Japanese War! Tensions had long been rising between China and Japan, the latter supporting the rival Fangchen clique in Manchuria as a way to defend their interests in the region. Although Tokyo made it clear they would not allow any Chinese encroachment on their sphere of influence in Manchuria, the Beijing government was undeterred, denouncing Japanese imperialism, promising they would not bow to foreign demands. So when the Beijing government and the Fangchen government finally clashed, Japan joined the conflict on the latter side. Who's he has denounced young Yu Ting as a traitor to the entire nation, the Japanese lapdog for his actions. The two ancient civilizations have found themselves at war once again. The fate of China is at stake. No idea who this guy is. Anyways. Got a Russian military mission. Anyways, our invasion is not working. Why? Situation looking bad. We're good on combat width, but we're attacking directly into a fort. Yeah, okay, we will have to invade the other direction. Which means you don't need to do that anymore. We're gonna try this another way. Go from Palermo to Cagliari. And halt. Though I am not incredibly optimistic about my chances. Out of fuel. I wish it was clear who was out of fuel. We got a Chinese United Front. Now we got this Chinese United Front. Yeah, and the Chongqing government is joining. All of China is like, we don't want to be conquered by Japan. Which, you know, understandable. Have a nice day. There's the mock click. But now that we have time to plan, we can do that. Boom. Bam. Thank you, ma'am. We can also accelerate the... We can also increase the decrease in terms of speed. Alright. Venetia is now a core. Apparently, we have insufficient energy. Nope, not like that. More Indonesia? How's the revolution in Indonesia going? Stalemate! Love to see it. You know. Alright, there we go. We solved the problem. I think I'll probably also need to bring in more fuel. That's fine. We're getting these civilian factories for a reason, of course. Yeah, more civilian factories. Alright. More Marines. Yeah, we'll elevate the Marine Corps. We're gonna go Marines and Mountaineers. And I guess Rangers, don't you know, if we need them. If we have the army XP, which we do. Can we... Are cavalry recon even good here? Let's see if we can figure something out. Pioneers are better. Let's actually see if they are better. They're better at attacking rivers. They have worse amphibious attack, which is weird. But they do give us 15 breakthrough instead of what we currently have, which gives us more entrenchment. Yeah, what we want is more breakthrough. Yeah, this is a better loadout. Is logistics necessary here? Light flame tank might be good. All right, this would be my sort of do I have the resources necessary for armored recon? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And armored recon would give us more soft attack, way more breakthrough, more armor, more piercing. And that means I can upgrade Brigata Marina. These guys can transition over to Marine Division. And then I can, Brigata Marina, I can decommission you. Alpine Divisions. I can add more Mountaineers too. I think that's wise. I'm thinking about options. Let's see. We'll do the regionalist turn. Let's do pan-European cooperation. Long ago, Rome once ruled a large amount of Europe, but today the nations of Europe can be considered children. It makes sense that a new kind of pan-European ideal, to once again take root here with the modern values of socialism and democracy, to reunite us in the era of peace for the workers of Europe. Let's do that. But that's going to have to be it for today. Failed naval invasion aside, I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.